Well, hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of Keeping Tabs. I'm your host, Tabitha, aka Tabs, and I'm very excited for you guys to be here with me and join me on this journey of our new podcast, Keeping Tabs. If you can't put two and two together, Keeping Tabs, my nickname, Tabs, we're keeping tabs on the stuff that we like to keep up with, specifically me, obviously, because it's all about me. So before we get into the background and anything about the podcast, why I started the podcast is because, honestly, I just love to hear myself talk. I'm a certified yapper, and I love to share my opinion about whatever it is. I love to complain about anything I can. I just love to chime in. I have to get a word in. That's just who I am. So starting a podcast and talking and hearing myself all the time is the perfect thing, right? But the three main topics that I truly care about and I'm passionate about is what we'll be talking about. Hopefully, I can hear y'all's opinions about all three or make you like one of the other. So let's just jump into it. We got sports, WWE, and pop culture. Obviously, three really important things to me, but hopefully they're important to you, are important to you. So starting off with the sports, I'm a huge football fan. I know football's coming to an end here. College football, NFL playoffs are, college coming to an end pretty soon. NFL playoffs starting this weekend. But we'll also talk about basketball, soccer, honestly, anything we can watch, we'll talk about. But I'm a huge sports fan. I'm a very avid fan. As you can see, I got a Jags jersey behind me. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Huge Jags fan, even though we suck. But for the playoffs, I think I'm going to go for the Lions, but we'll talk about that later in the episode. I'm also a huge Florida Gator fan, my favorite team of all time, Florida Gators. But again, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But again, we'll talk about any sports that we can, hopefully, maybe some new ones that I haven't really watched lately or get back into. I always got to jump back into basketball once football is over, but yeah. And then our second topic is WWE. Last 2 years or so, I've really gotten back into watching every single show that they have. If you didn't know, WWE has 3 weekly shows: Monday Night Raw, NXT on Tuesdays, and then Friday Night SmackDown. Monday Night Raw just debuted on Netflix this past Monday, so that's a huge topic we'll be talking about in this first episode. But I honestly just tell people who don't like WWE or who haven't really watched it, think about a reality TV show that just never ends. There's new storylines every week. There's new characters, all that good stuff. You have your good guys, you got your bad guys. Honestly, just a really, really good reality TV show that just never ends. So hopefully I could turn you into a WWE fan by the end of this first episode at least, or a couple episodes. And then part 3 will be pop culture, so mainly reality TV shows, different things like The Bachelor, Love Island, Bravo shows. I'm a huge Bravo fan. Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, Real Housewives. I'm currently watching Salt Lake City, and I'm on season 10 of Beverly Hills. And I know that Grant's Bachelor season will be starting at the end of January. But we can all talk about that stuff a little bit more later. This first episode, we're really going to focus on Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. Also be talking about NXT New Year's Evil, both of 2 amazing shows to start the year. Talk about a little bit of Friday Night SmackDown to start off the year on the 3rd. And then we'll talk a little football playoffs and all the good stuff. So let's go ahead and go into Monday Night Raw. All right, like I said, guys, our first segment is going to be talking about Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. Again, if you're not a wrestling fan, this is huge for Monday Night Raw and WWE. They were on USA Network for 20, 30 something years. So this is huge, though. To be globally streamed all over the world is insane. I mean, this is going to bring huge draws. Monday Night Raw back to 3 hours as well, which me personally, I'd prefer the 3-hour shows just because I want more. Give me more, But Monday Night Raw debut, just absolutely insane with Netflix. That Intuit Dome was that technology, just everything looks amazing. The new ring, the logos, even the logos in the ring, I'm indifferent, kind of didn't really notice them like most of the time. I do like the black ring. looks pretty clean. The new Raw logo looks awesome. I do like the small stage because I know they want to fit more people in, but I wish they kind of had a bigger entrance style again with maybe a video package or something. But anyways, everything looked great. The electric feel. I love Pat McAfee and Michael Cole being the commentating team for Monday Night Raw. I absolutely love them together. I'm a huge Pat McAfee fan personally. He's one of my inspirations in starting this podcast, to be honest. Been listening to him for years. I love him on Game Day. And when I found out he was kind of in the WWE world, I was like, okay. He's also one of the people that kind of got me more back into it because I used to watch WWE way when I was a little kid and then finally got back into it, like I said, about 2 years ago or so. But I love them together. They're such a good duo. You've got Funny with Pat McAfee, him getting Cole up on the thing, yeeting with Jey Uso was awesome. And then Cole obviously is the GOAT play-by-play commentator. But yeah, Monday Night Raw, let's get into it. Kicking off with The Rock. Obviously, we knew he was going to be there. In my personal opinion, I'm glad he started the show rather than closing it. I'm not the biggest fan of The Rock. I mean, I love The Rock, but we didn't get the final. It's weird. We didn't get the final boss on Monday Night Raw. It was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the TKO board member, the businessman Moana guy. Like, it was weird that you could clearly see the two characters were separated. He was Dwayne The Rock Johnson last night. He wasn't the final boss. And then he gave Cody his flowers, which, I mean, obviously he deserves, but I thought that was a little, I don't know. It was like, did we forget what you did? You beat him with the weight belt and talk shit about his mom a couple months ago. Like, it was kind of weird. And then we go straight into Roman versus Solo tribal combat for who is the true tribal chief. And overall, great match. Had some good spots. I mean, I thought we were going to get that chair shot to the head, but no, right to the low blow. Solo was getting a little emotional, trauma dumping a little bit, you never loved me, you used me, all this stuff. I thought that was good by Solo, and honestly, Solo deserves his flowers for his phenomenal character work in the last year or so, because we got the funny side of him, we've got the serious side, his promos are better, his in-ring talking during matches has been incredible, but of course we knew we were going to get Tama and Jacob interfering. No shit. That was pretty inevitable. And then we got Sami Zayn and Big Jimmy Uso coming out to help. I actually was a little surprised we got KO, but I love the KO stunner. Roman kicked out of that, get a little crash out from KO, of course. He's the king of crash outs. And then Cody coming out with his save. Honestly, I think they did that to get people more interested in the Rumble matchup, which is going to be a better matchup than the first one, in my opinion. We're so much more invested now. KO and Cody have definitely done a better job of getting his matches a little bit more, credibility behind it, better stories behind it, and all that stuff. But anyways, back. Solo Roman. Crazy matchup. Honestly, I thought they were going to go with Solo here, but OTC comes out on top, of course. And then you have The Rock coming in, which this is why I think the only reason or the only thing we can do with The Rock if he wants to be a part of Mania is Rock versus Roman. And in my personal opinion, that shouldn't even be a main event. That should just be like middle of the card, but that's just me. I know people want that to be a main event, but I don't think it should be a main event by any means. But I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, The Rock, he's going to insert himself how he wants, and we'll just see. But where do we go next with Solo? Where do we go next with Roman? What's going on? Is Roman going to go to Cody? Is Solo going to lose his bloodline? What is he going to do? Is he going to go to Monday Night? Is he going to stay on Monday Night Raw? Is he going to stay on SmackDown? What's going to go on? Is Jacob and Tama going to leave him? I could see Jacob Fatu just, doing what Solo did to Big Jim and them after Roman lost at Mania, taking him out and stuff. So maybe they do that. I guess we'll see. And then, we had Mr. John Cena. The farewell tour unfortunately started. Super, super sad to see the farewell start, but I'm excited to see what they do here. There's so many different options they could do with him, and obviously I personally want to see him beat the championship record and get that 17th championship to beat Ric Flair. That's my, number one thing I want to happen. If that doesn't happen, obviously I'd love a Grand Slam championship for him, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Obviously, he said he's going to be at Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. My personal favorite to think about him and the easiest way for him to get the 17th championship is a Money in the Bank win. What if they pulled like a Brock Lesnar where Brock just comes in at the end of the match, destroys everybody really quickly, takes the briefcase, and and then you could easily take advantage of that because I think, in my opinion, that's the easiest way because you take advantage when they're injured or hurt after a match. Boom, sneak attack, whatever. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. John never gives us any foreshadowment or anything like that in his promos very much. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't see him necessarily winning the Royal Rumble. My opinion, maybe Punk does. I don't know. We'll just have to see. That's the fun thing about WWE, too, is you just never know. And that's why one of the things I love about it is just so many things can happen. So many different things can happen. And, like, with injuries and stuff like that, other stuff happens, too. So, all right, moving on. We had Liv versus Rhea. Question, what happened to the last woman standing match? I thought that's what was supposed to happen, but it was just a normal one-fall match. And I don't know, but I'm Team Mommy all the way. I'm a true believer she needed to win the title back because she never lost it in the first place. She was only lost the title because of injury, and she had to vacate. So, personally, I loved it. Great match, though. Liv still deserves her flowers. She did incredible with the championship run. Give her flowers. I know people want to hate on her, all this stuff, but she did what she could because there was no other credible, options for them. You had to be Liv versus Rhea. I mean, Becky's been out, Charlotte's out, all the other female superstars that are up to that caliber on Friday Night SmackDown, But we'll see. Bianca hopefully going to be on Monday Night Raw a little bit more. Hopefully Becky comes back, but obviously they got to call some people up from NXT as well, so we'll be interested to see. We'll have to see Royal Rumble time, really, what's going to happen with, who's going to be coming up and stuff like that. But that will be interesting to see. But Rhea Liv, great match. Again, I'm happy Mommy got her title back. Kind of surprised we didn't get a Becky return, low-key. A lot of people were chatting about it. We know she just signed a new deal, but I guess she'll just be a Royal Rumble contender, probably coming at spot 30 or something. But Undertaker coming out to kind of give the nod and pass the torch to Rhea was really cool. I really love that. And overall, good match. Again, I'm just happy Mommy got the title back. That's all I cared about. And then we get a little Chad Gable, maybe versus Penta next week. It's very obviously, we were supposed to get Penta with Ray this week is what it seemed in that tag match versus New Day, but I guess they scrapped that. And now it's going to be Chad Gable versus Penta next week, which hopefully is a great match. We'll see. Rock at NXT. Interesting. Why is he there? Who knows? Well, I guess we'll see. And then best part of the night, Travis Scott coming out, smoking a blunt, and then Jey Uso coming out, them going out to the crowd together. That was awesome. And I know everyone online was like, Jey wanted to hit that shit. And if you saw the after show or whatever, the post show, Jey was like, come on, let me get some, for whatever he said. And I absolutely love that Pat McAfee and Michael Cole were up on the commentating table, yeeting away with them. It was awesome. That was just so electric. Jay's one of my faves. He's got that aura, man. He's got that, connection with the crowd. Everyone loves him. Everyone, gets him going. So, yeet. And I love how every time Rhea does something like on the Instagram, like one of those walk-ups, they always pass a Jay thing, and she's like, I'm like, give me more Jaya. Give me some more Rhea and Jay on screen. I would love that. And then Drew versus Jay, obviously. I honestly thought Drew was going to win. I really, really did. And then when he lost, I was expecting him to really crash out, kind of like how KO did earlier in the night when Roman kicked out from the stunner. But I don't know, man. We're just going to have to see how this plays out. Maybe they were like, Jay he needs to stay on top. And I love that for him, though. I love that he won. kind of interesting to see where that goes. And then we had a Gunther promo, which me personally, not a Gunther fan really. Kind of wish Priest won the title back at Saturday Night Main Event. Is what it is. I don't know. He's a great wrestler, hands down one of the best like in the ring wrestlers, and has the best technical ability, but I don't like his character. I just don't connect with the character. That's just my opinion though. So again, that's part of why I wanted to do this though, is say my opinions, y'all give me yours, and we'll see if we can agree or find some ground. You know what I'm saying? We can have a convo about it. And then we got Roman and Paul Heyman together, which I just love Paul Heyman. I just have to say that. Paul freaking Heyman, what a goat. We won't see Roman till January 27th, it seems like, on a Monday Night Raw. Or is he going to be on SmackDown at some point between? I don't know. I think it's probably just going to be January 27th. And then the funniest part of the night, Hulk Hogan getting absolutely booed for the entire promo. A lot of people that probably don't or hadn't watched WWE in a while are probably wondering why people are booing Hulk Hogan. We're not going to get into it. You can go and look it up for yourself why people don't like him. He's kind of just an asshole within the wrestling business, but there's some other shit outside of that he's not very good. He's just not a good guy, kind of asshole-ish. Anyway, we're going to skip through that, but I thought that was hilarious that he got completely booed. He almost booed like Dom got booed, you know what I'm saying? Literally almost as bad as that. He probably had to turn his mic up just so he could talk. Anyways, then we learned that we got Priest and Finn in a street fight next week on Monday Night Raw. That's going to be awesome. This is match 2 for them. So, interested to see. I'm going to guess Finn gets a win, so they have a match 3, because Damian did win the first one. So, we'll see. And then we got main event. Seth freaking Rollins versus CM Punk. 2 of my favorite wrestlers. Like, if I'm naming a top 5 men's current wrestlers, these are 2 of them. Like, I just can't. These are 2 of my faves. Anyone see that jacket that CM Punk was wearing, though? That's definitely the same jacket that he choked out Jack Perry. And I love that. I thought that was a funny little moment. But that match was cooking. We all knew it was going to be a great match. I mean, those are 2 of the best technicians in the business. Again, 2 of my favorites. Super emotional. Seth being cocky as always. Had some great spots. I loved it when Seth, gets the Mark Henry spot there, rolls up into the GTS, boom, onto Punk. I love it when, like, for this type of match, it's so heated and personal that they use each other's finishers. I love that shit so much. I loved it. But if you look back at this night, it was a night of kickouts. Rhea Liv both had some crazy kickouts. Roman Solo had some crazy kickouts. Jay kicked out of a Claymore. And then Seth and Punk kicking out of each other's finishers was insane. Pedigree on the table. I mean, it was crazy. Punk getting his foot up off of a stomp. I mean, there was a lot of close moments. Great match overall. I'm glad that Punk got the win because I still think he needs to solidify some more credibility since returning. And this is a great match for him to, that's a great win right there because the only other wins he's really gotten is War Games and then the Drew stuff. But I thought it was a great match. Hopefully first of many. Again, my 2 favorite wrestlers. They obviously make magic and have great chemistry in the ring. So hopefully that continues on. But overall, I'm excited for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. I think it's going to be amazing for, the brand and to get more viewership and be able to do a lot more stuff. And again, having closer to, it's hopefully going to be more 3-hour shows. That's what I like. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so now we're going to go in and let's go talk about NXT real quick. So, NXT New Year's Evil. What a way to start NXT. I love NXT. Honestly, for a 2-hour show, Shawn Michaels does perfect. The way he does his shows is just so good. Every single week is an absolute banger. If you only watch Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, you've got to start watching NXT. It's so freaking good. Anyways, obviously with Pat McAfee coming back and Michael Cole going to Monday Night Raw, we learn Corey Graves is back to NXT, and it's going to be Corey Graves joining that 3-man booth now, which is very interesting. But we'll see what happens. Is Booker T going to leave? I think that's the rumor going around, that Booker T might be taking some time off from commentary, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. But what a way to start New Year's Evil. New champion, Julia. What a match. Her and Roxanne, banger again. We all know Roxanne's probably going to the main roster. Give her her flowers. The girl is just the prodigy. She is legit the prodigy. It's so awesome to watch her. NXT has the best women's division in all of wrestling. If you don't agree, sorry, not sorry, because that's the fucking truth. But what a way to start it. Julia, new champ. Again, we'll see. Hopefully Roxanne goes in at the Royal Rumble, probably, is my guess. And then next we had that Fatal 4-Way. Cora Jade, Lola Vice, Stephanie, and Kalani Jordan. What a banger. Stephanie wins to become... Oh, hello, Sammy. Oh, come here, girly. Well, hello. This is my little kitty, Sammy. She's about 6 months. I knew she was going to jump up here at some point. You go lay down, okay? I have 2 cats, so I knew one of them would, especially her, going to jump up at some point, but hopefully she lets me talk. Anyways, back. Fatal 4-Way. Stephanie Vaquer wins to become the -- contender to the North American title. Great match overall. I like Stephanie Vaquer. Hopefully she gets... I think she'll take the title off of Fallon, but I guess we'll see. And then we get a little snippet of a setup for #1 contendership for the women's tag titles. My question is, why don't we just get the NXT women's tag titles back? Please, please, please. We're going to take a quick hydration break. Got a quick sip. That's a hydration reminder. But anyways, NXT tag titles for the women. Please bring them back. I mean, it's about time they do it. Come on, man. Anyways, then Oba actually did attack Eddie before the triple threat because he said, F that guy. This should be a one-on-one. I kind of been indifferent about Eddie being inserted into this match. I feel like Oba's going to win no matter what, and which he did, which we'll talk about here in a sec. But yeah, crazy. Moving on, Fatal Influence loses to Shotzi, Gigi, and Tatum Paxley. The match was okay. Low-key kind of was a match. I was on my phone a little bit too much, if I'm being honest. But since Shotzi did pin Fallon, we're going to have Shotzi versus Stephanie for the #1 contendership now for the women's North American title, which that match actually will be good. I'm excited Shotzi's back. I missed her. She's always a fun time. That little trio is interesting to me. Fatal Influence, I honestly really enjoy Fatal Influence, if I'm being honest with you. I think that trio is really good. They're really good in the ring, help building each other up in the ring as well. But I really like them. I like their entrance is low-key. It's better than the Pure Fusion Collective, whatever the fuck, Monday Night Raw. That group's weird. This is a good women's 3-person group in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Anyways, so we'll see. Fallon, we'll see who her next opponent will be. Shotzi versus Stephanie Vaquer. And then we get a Javon Evans promo while his jaw is wired shut. That was quite interesting. He looked like Shark Boy when his teeth are kind of messed up. And then we go into Lexis King actually winning the Heritage Cup in the sudden death one-fall match against Charlie Dempsey. That was a good match. Good for Lexis King. Honestly, it was a pretty decent match. And then we've got, going into the main event, Trick, Oba, and Eddie. I'm a huge Whoop That Trick fan. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Eddie still kind of hurt, so they start the match just Trick versus Oba. And honestly, I felt like Oba was going to win the entire time. And then I had a little faith that Trick was going to get it, but Oba kicks out of the Trick shot. And then Eddie, of course, fucks it up for Trick. And Oba wins the title. 2 new NXT champions. Was kind of insane, honestly. That just shows that HBK, he be cooking. He knows what he's doing. But obviously, I think a lot of us are thinking Roxanne to the main roster. Is Trick going to be going to the main roster now? That's going to be interesting, very interesting. In just the last few days, we've had a bunch of new champs. We got new men's NXT champion, new women's NXT champion, new women's world champion in Rhea Ripley, new women's WWE champion Tiffany Stratton from Friday Night SmackDown. So lots of new champs. I love it. I love it. I love it. HBK always be cooking though. Overall amazing. NXT always is. Again, one of the top show. Definitely the top show in my opinion. Just the way it's structured, the way it flows. It's always so good. So we'll see about Roxanne and Trick getting called up to the main roster. That should be really interesting. And then we had that Rock promo, which, in my opinion, I don't get it. He was giggling. He was trying to act like the final boss, but Monday night he really wasn't acting like the final boss. I don't know. I was left even more confused after Tuesday night's episode of NXT. I don't know what he's doing with. He was cursing. They were bleeping because I felt like he forgot that he wasn't on Netflix like he was the night before. So we got bleeped out, obviously, on the CW. Pointless kind of promo, in my opinion. I feel like it was just filler. They just needed some, I'm not saying I hate The Rock. I just hate how he just steals some TV time. Like, that easily could have been a promo for somebody else or something. Like, we didn't see Fraxium tonight. We did boom, that could have been a women's tag match right there. Women's tag championships, bring them back, please, Ava and HBK. But yeah, overall, Monday Night Raw was awesome. NXT New Year's Evil, awesome. What a way to start off. And then, obviously, the first episode of Friday Night SmackDown was amazing with Tiffy. Cash-in, I think that was an amazing shock value for that cash-in. Absolutely loved it. In our next episode, we'll recap the next Monday or the Friday Night SmackDown that's coming up. So we'll talk about that one a little bit more to go in depth for that. But we're going to go ahead, take a quick break, and go into our next segment for some football. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, let's talk about some freaking football now. Again, my favorite sport. We're going to start off with some college football playoffs. Obviously, I'm a Gator fan, like I said earlier. They didn't do as well as I hoped for this year. Did a lot better in the second half of the season for sure. Got a good bowl win. Beat Florida State. That really felt really good to actually beat Florida State, who had the downfall of the century from last season. But Florida, we could have definitely been better. DJ Lagway, dog. Absolute dog. Billy Napier. Bro, you're lucky we can't afford to fire you because sometimes you're a little bitch. And you can be a little scared when you're coaching. And you're kind of lucky that DJ was there to save you a lot of this time this year. But I'm not going to be mean to you. I still really like you. I have a lot of faith still. Go get some good freaking recruits. Get a good O-line. We need to get some better defensive players. Go get you some good receiver. Like, go do some work this offseason and prove to us Florida fans that you belong. That's all I'm saying. But DJ Lagway, you a dog. Anyways, college football playoffs. First ever 12-team playoff did not go according to plan, in my opinion. Clemson, sorry, shouldn't have been in that shit. Your shit. Tennessee, questionable. Indiana, questionable. Notre Dame, questionable. No, Notre Dame, you're fine. SMU, questionable. But I think, honestly, top four, the only one that really should have got a bye was Oregon. They're the only ones, in my opinion, that deserved an actual bye. Georgia shouldn't have got a bye. Boise shouldn't have got a bye. Arizona State, yeah, you probably could have stayed where you are, but very interesting. Hopefully, this makes them change some rules going into next year for the playoffs, because this bracket was just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Some terrible, terrible games. Texas, Arizona State has been the only really good game. Honestly. Notre Dame, Georgia was Boise, Penn State, And then Oregon, what the fuck happened to them? I don't know. So now we're into the Final Four. We've got Ohio State versus Texas. I actually currently live in Texas, and I'm an SEC fan because I'm a Florida fan. So I guess I'm going to be going for Texas. in my opinion, whoever wins this game is going to win the whole thing. Or should win the whole thing. Honestly, as long as it's not Ohio State versus Penn State, where it's an all Big Ten national championship, that's kind of the worst case scenario, in my opinion. I don't want to hear it from Big Ten fans that they're better than the SEC, because you're not. You're not. I promise you. You got Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. Those are the 3 teams in the Big Ten that are good. That's it. In the SEC, you've got Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. Florida's going to be in that bitch next year. I promise you that. But I just think SEC is still better. We can have debates about that all day long, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Anyways, I'm going to take Ohio State to beat Texas, though, because Texas is looking shaky. Quinn Ewers, I think they should have been playing Arch Manning weeks ago, and I mean weeks ago. I think they should have been playing him. So I'm going to take Ohio State to be in the national championship. And then I'm going to take Notre Dame. Fuck it, yeah. Notre Dame is gonna upset Penn State, hopefully. It's going to be Ohio State versus Notre Dame is my prediction. And that's all we're going to say on that. So let's go to NFL playoffs. Again, obviously, you see I'm a Jags fan. They're dog shit. What are we, the 5 pick, I think? I think we have the 5 pick overall, which we probably won't do anything with because we just paid Trevor Lawrence a shit ton of money to be dog shit and be terrible. He's terrible. At least we did fire Doug Peterson right after the season. Like, dude, Mac Jones had looked better than Trevor Lawrence did, and Mac Jones is dog shit too. But he had some swag, man. I'm not gonna cap. He had some swag. Our only good player was freaking BTJ, man. That's our only good player. And yeah, I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. So, all right, we're back talking NFL playoffs. Like I said, Jags fan here. We're dog shit. So I'm gonna be a bandwagon and be a Lions fan. But I love Dan Campbell. I think he's a great coach. I love the way he talks. And who doesn't love a little Jared Goff? Jared Goff. And not gonna lie to you guys, I did have Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown on my fantasy team. And I was a fantasy champion. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little bandwagon and go for the Lions. So we're just gonna run through the matchups for wild card weekend, and then I'm gonna give you my predictions. So let's see it. We're gonna start with the AFC. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Houston Texans. I'm going to take the Chargers to upset the Texans because the Texans have not looked very good in recent weeks ever since losing Diggs and Tank Dell. So I'm going to take Justin Herbert to upset CJ Stroud in Houston. And then we've got Pittsburgh traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. I had Lamar on my fantasy team, so I think I'm going to go Baltimore over the Steelers here. And then we've got the Denver Broncos going to the Buffalo Bills. Definitely taking the Bills all day. Josh Allen, MVP potential. Yeah, Bills all day for sure. But Bo Nix, Rookie of the Year, Rookie Offensive Player of the Year, he's definitely in the conversation, man. He's been balling out. Everyone thought that Caleb Williams was going to be special, all this good shit. Nah, you got Jaden Daniels, you got Bo Nix looking better. Even Michael Penix looking better than freaking Caleb Williams at this point. So, but yeah, I'm going to take the Bills over the Broncos this weekend. And then we're going over to the NFC. We've got the Vikings going to the Los Angeles Rams. I think Sam Darnold's going to figure it out, and we're going to get a rematch eventually with the Lions maybe. But I'm going to take Minnesota over the Rams. And then we got Washington going to Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Bucs, man. They're riding hot. You got Mike Evans, McMillan, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White. Baker Mayfield's been balling out. So I'm going to take the Bucs, man. I think Jaden Daniels is going to ball out still, but the Bucs have been there. They've done that. So I think they're going to get a solid win here. And then we've got Green Bay going to Philly. I think the Eagles are a lock, just as I said for the Bills. It's an automatic lock, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, been awesome. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and then obviously Saquon Barkley in the MVP conversation. If it wasn't such a heavy quarterback award, I would choose MVP Saquon Barkley. That's just me, but I think a lot of people would say that agreed. Kind of similarly to last year with CMC, but I think Saquon's just on a different level, man. He is truly the reason the Eagles are the number 2 seed in the NFC. So, but if that's what happens, then we will get that Vikings-Lions matchup in the next round, which would be awesome. So we'll just have to see, man. That's why we love the NFL. You never know. It's whoever shows up on that day. Sometimes home field advantage doesn't even matter. We'll just have to see. Last little bit of our first episode, last segment, we're going to talk about some reality TV. I'm a huge reality TV snob. Started off watching Bachelor and Bachelorette a couple years ago. Love the Bachelor world. Golden Bachelors have been awesome. I love the addition of that. And then I can't wait for Paradise to come back. And then Love Island. I got hugely into Love Island USA because of Ariana Madix, my girl, Vanderpump. And then that leads into Bravo. But I've always loved Bachelor, Bachelorette. That's really where reality TV started for me. Even The Challenge. I used to watch The Challenge as a kid all the time. But when I moved home after grad school, I really got into the Bravo world. I started watching Vanderpump Rules because of my best friend Katie. Shout out to her. She's the reason I love Vanderpump Rules and I love the Bravo world. So Vanderpump Rules led into Summer House, which led into Housewives of Beverly Hills, Salt Lake City. I tried to watch Southern Charm, couldn't really get into it. So you guys, let me know, what other Housewives do I need to watch? Because I'm up to date on Salt Lake City. I'm on season 10 of Beverly Hills. Should I watch Orange County? Do I need to watch Jersey, New York? Like, which ones do I need to watch in order? Whatever. Let me know. Other series I should watch. I love The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That was amazing. Should I watch Traitors? I haven't watched that before, but I have watched Big Brother. And I know on Traitors they've got some people from the Bravo world, from Big Brother, Survivor, like a good mix of everything. So I'm kind of interested. Should I watch Traitors? Yes or no? Let me know, guys. Love is Blind is also one I really haven't watched as much. So again, you guys let me know what you want, what I should be watching and reviewing. Should I do reactions to it? Whatever. But I'm up to date on Salt Lake City. I can't wait for a new episode to come out since of the holiday break. I absolutely love Lisa Barlow, Meredith Marks, Mary. I love her this season. She has made such a good comeback. Broadwin, great addition. And yeah, guys, I'm super excited to bring you on this journey. That's all we have for episode 1. So you guys let me know, what tabs should we be keeping for you? Make sure you guys watch out for the drop of episode 1. It's going to be on Spotify and YouTube. And then I'm also going to be posting some clips to Instagram and TikTok. So make sure to follow along. Thank you guys so much. And we're keeping tabs, guys. Love you. Bye.